Um, I gotta tell you, I've had it up to here with Trump haters and liberals, and I wanted to ask you guys some questions about this. Okay, you know that are liberal, and you can let me know in the chat or the comments, and then on the next stream, I'll take live calls on this. Um, I'd like to hear a legitimate reason that these never Trumpers, Democrats, trolls, lunatics don't support President Trump. There's no logical reason not to. They've got this old talking point. Well, the Epstein files. He just signed a bill into law last week to release all the Epstein files, okay? So I don't want an answer being the Epstein files. That's just, that's a non-answer. For the life of me, after 10 years, over 10 years now, since Trump came down the escalator, I cannot think of a single reason anyone would not be supporting President Trump. Can you? I ran over something. One of my tires is low on air. So I've got to go put air in before I get coffee. You guys want to come with me? And then I'll take my car to Friendly Tire and get it plugged. But you look at everything President Trump is doing. It's directly to help the American people. A lot of these new-hating anti-Semites, like Marjorie Taylor Greene and these others, well, I care about America first, and he's not America first because Israel. There's about the foreign aid that we give Israel, and not too many people know about this, although it's rather common knowledge. The dark MAGA mode has been engaged, people. Did you know that the aid we give to Israel, it has to be spent in the United States? So it's not like we're giving them money with a blank check. They have to spend it in the United States. So as an example, Israel, we do not give Israel military equipment like Ukraine for nothing, like we're doing for years. Israel buys all the equipment. Now, they buy it in large part with the foreign aid we give them, but it's feeding that money right back into our economy. So, when people say Trump's not America first, I mean, he's Captain America. That's just an absurd thing. Everything President Trump is doing directly is to help and benefit, it's starting to rain, the American people. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We're going to get the $2,000 each. So that means my wife and I will get $4,000. You will too if you've got a wife or a husband. Look at what he's done for truck drivers. They have taken thousands of illegal aliens off the roads that were driving big rigs, opening up the job market for Americans or legal immigrants. Now, what I'm going to be leading with today on the mainstream is there's a new poll CNN has out. President Trump has an 87% approval rating. So Trump's not in trouble. Trump's not slipping in the polls. In fact, he's holding steady to where he was when he got elected. 87% approval rating, which is pretty darn good. The highest approval rating of any president in the 21st century, that we're a quarter of the way through. So I don't ask this question because Trump's in trouble. He's not. In fact, the opposite is true. But it's just tired. These talking points. They need to get some new talking points, the seminar callers. I ran over something and I got a leak in my tire. I got to take it to Friendly Tire and get it plugged. So I'm going to go and get some air. in the tire. Hopefully it's not raining where the air pump is. I'm not too crazy about going to this air pump early in the morning. I came here once not long ago in my other car, and there was a very strange man wandering around. There's no, just... But I won't be alone today because I've got you guys. At least you can watch. Last time I was all alone. This is a free air pump. I hate pumps that you have to pay. It's ridiculous. Air used to be free at all gas stations, huh? Then there's another story. Byron Donalds. Let me see how much. Oh, yeah. Byron Donalds, of course, is running for governor here in Florida, and we expect him to, he's the front runner, and now he's got an opponent in the primary who's some guy that I've never heard of before. And I'm going to go over everything with him. I'm so leery of people running for office that say all the right things, because he does, but I've never heard of them before, right? These guys come out of nowhere, and I think when you're running for office, I like to see somebody who works the way up, so you get to know if you could trust them or not, see how they really are on the issues. Town council, city council, county commission, mayor, state house, state senate, something like that. School board. So we got this guy, and he's got a lot of money behind him because he's rich. And, of course, Byron Donalds is, without question, MAGA, and he's a big threat to the political establishment because he's not just MAGA, Byron Donalds, he's black, and that's like their worst nightmare is to have black MAGA, because Byron Donalds, he's in Congress right now, but after he's governor, he could find his way either into the Senate or the presidency or vice presidency. So I'm very sus of this guy that came out of nowhere saying all the right things running against him. Yeah, I ran over something. I don't know where I ran over. And one of my tires here is low on air, so I'm filling up my tire. Yep. Raining just a little bit. Starbucks isn't open for about 10 minutes. Yeah, so I am very suspicious of this guy. It's all of a sudden running for governor against Byron Donalds. So I'm going to go over that. The days of Republican, before Trump, somebody would come out of nowhere. They'd be a Republican. They'd say all the things that you want to hear, and then they'd win. And we've got to be very careful of those kind of Republicans. Car wants me to put my seatbelt on. Well, I just drove like 10 feet. Hold on. All right. Let there be light. Yeah, welcome everyone. If you're new, make sure you subscribe to my channel. So I'm going to go over this guy that's running against Byron Donalds. Representative Rayborn, thank you for the super chat. Queen under pressure, yeah. Queen is arguably the best rock and roll band that ever lived, ever played. What do you guys think? I love Queen. Under Pressure is a great song. That's a great song. No doubt. That might be their best song, actually. I don't know. It's hard to say. Queen's got a lot of good songs. So, because one of the reasons I'm suspect of this guy running against Byron Donalds is because the Bushes are making their move to take over the party after Trump's second term. And they would very much like to make sure that MAGA Trump people like Byron Donalds don't win elections in the next thing. So a lot of these people that are coming up out of nowhere, you've got to be very suspicious of. All right, you got to be very suspicious of, because the Republican Party is a MAGA party, and there's going to be people that are running for office next year who are going to say all the right things, but who are they, and can you trust them, and are they really MAGA? So it's best, when possible, to stick with people that we know are MAGA, like Byron Donalds. This is, President Trump has retaken the Republican Party, but we got to hold on to it. The chances of the Bushes coming back into power with the Republican Party are slim, because they would do everything stealth behind the scenes, because most people don't like them with their war crimes and all. And my lead story today is about the new poll that shows President Trump with 87% approval rating. That's my lead story. I've got a lot to get into, but after that, I'll get into this story about this guy out of nowhere running against Byron Donalds. Who's a con man? For the life of me, I really don't understand why everyone's not a Trump supporter. I really don't understand that. If you're an American. Sandra just became a member to the channel. Thank you, Sandra. Or is it Sandra? It could be either one. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I will be live streaming Thursday and Friday. I don't know if I'm going to do the radio show Thursday and Friday, but I'll live stream for sure. The thing with the if I do the radio show live Thursday and Friday, I'm locked in till 9 a.m. So if I just live stream on YouTube, I don't have to do the whole 3 hours, 45 minutes. You know what I mean? I used to take Thursday and Friday off Thanksgiving weekend, and that would be like a 4-day weekend. I am so exhausted. I mean, I have just been going, 18 hours a day for this entire year. And, the thing about it is, I see how much President Trump works. So I can't get myself to take a day off because he's not taking any days off, right? He's our leader, right? He's doing a great job. And if he doesn't take a day off and then I take a day off, to me, a day off is doing one show, not two. Like Sunday, I did a podcast in the morning, and I usually do on Sundays an afternoon or evening podcast, and I didn't. To me, that's a day off. And I am going to live stream on the cruise this year, on our MAGA cruise. And that, of course, is subject to the internet connectivity with the live stream. But the internet's pretty good. We've got the Starlink on the cruise ship, and it's pretty good for live streaming, for sure. So I won't be able to take calls, but I will most I could set up to take calls. Would that be crazy if I was taking calls on the cruise? Would that be nuts? I don't know if the people in the cabin next door to me would like it. That'd be crazy. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. It's certainly something to think about. I could take calls through a third-party app on the cruise, but I don't know if I'll do that or not. The people in the cabin next door Man, although the walls are so thick, I never hear any noise in the cabins next doors. It'd be epic. Live calls on a cruise ship. The problem with live streaming on the cruise is being up early in the morning, because the nights can run pretty late on a cruise. You know what I mean? Have a good time, up all night, late night events. I could do it. It's a 7-day cruise. Yeah, we do it every year. This is our 10th annual MAGA cruise. It's in March. You guys should join us if you haven't already made a reservation. Nope, 7 days. We do it every year. This is our 10th one. Very exciting. I love them. They're a lot of fun, and the people that come are great. It's a great MAGA group. Oh, it's a lot of fun. We run the whole ship. Well, the internet's pretty fast. I'd have to see. I don't know. I would not be able to. I could take calls. I'd have to think about how to do that. I have to think about how I would do that. I'm thinking about it now, how I'd make that work. The live streaming, that's one thing. But the live calls, I could forward my call-in number, the AAA number I use, to any phone line anywhere. Fools not to support Trump. I mean, my goodness. What is Trump doing that any American would be opposed to? Think about that. What is anything he's doing that any American would be opposed to? Can you think of anything? No, everything he's doing is 100% to support the American people. Yeah, Starlink's pretty amazing. I didn't bring all my live streams set up on the last cruise, but I could do it this time. Yeah. It's not that hard to set up. Are you kidding me? President Trump loses money as president. He donates his salary. Well, listen, no one's perfect, right? I mean, I agree, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and Dan Bongino were useless. We've been talking about this all year. They're useless. I saw a story. I'm going to go through. I was going to get to this yesterday, and I didn't, but I might today. There was a story, Kash Patel has some special FBI SWAT team or something protecting his girlfriend. And apparently there was a report over the weekend that they left her when they weren't supposed to, and he went nuts. Kash is worried too much about his girlfriend that's like 25 years younger than him. I have said, we've had a year of Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and Dan Bongino, and they have done jack, those three, right? And I'd be perfectly fine if Trump replaced all three of them. Why? What the hell has Dan Bongino done? I haven't seen him do jack. I thought Bongino, I knew Kash would have to work at the main headquarters in Washington. And I thought Bongino would be out in the field like Tom Homan. He doesn't do anything. I think Dan Bongino, we know Dan Bongino was a police officer. We know he was Secret Service and all that. But I really don't think he knows what he's doing. I think he's padded his resume and hyped himself up so much, and I don't think he knows what to do or how to do it. I really think that. Kash Patel and Bongino have done nothing. And Pam Bondi, those three are a disappointment. Everybody else President Trump has picked has done everything we wanted them to do and more. Everyone else has outperformed except the Justice Department. I'm sorry. You know, and this whole thing with Comey and Letitia's an example of that. That's not true, Simon, about Tom Homan. Just not true. All right, listen, guys, Starbucks is opening. I'm going to get my coffee. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. On the next stream, I'll be taking live calls.